For everyone who's been following the past few weeks, Planet Fitness has been in the news a lot, and that is because they allow men in the women's locker rooms. They not just double down, triple down, they quadruple down, and even more. I can't even keep count where we're up to already, but they are defending this man with everything they have. And for their troubles, they wiped $400 million off of their value. So today we get to talk to the founder of Planet Fitness, and he has a very interesting story. Mike, thank you so much for joining me today. Let's just get right into it. I wanted to talk about how you founded Planet Fitness, what your mission was, what your vision was, and then we can get into what happened to that vision and how we got to where we are today, where they allow men in the women's locker rooms.
Well, thank you for having me. That is how we got here today. It's unfathomable to me. I mean, back in August of '92, I started a chain that, became what it is today, which, I was very proud of up until recently. But originally, I had realized that there was a opportunity in the fitness industry to create a gym chain that would be primarily aimed at the beginner and the people who were intimidated by fitness centers and, people who couldn't afford the cost. And, back in '97, we came up with Planet Fitness, the judgment-free zone. We really made a extreme effort into making it a comfortable place to come to. And now you fast forward to what's happening today. In judgment-free zone means that if you're a man, you can use the women's locker room. Just insane.
So you founded the judgment-free zone of Planet Fitness because people were intimidated to go to the gym. It was obviously very popular, and now 25 years later, judgment-free means something totally different. So talk about what you were seeing the last 2 weeks with my reporting and other news sites about Planet Fitness's inclusive judgment-free zone, what that has become, and like as a founder, like what's your reaction to that?
Well, it's devastating to me. I mean, Planet Fitness was like another child for me, and I put my heart and soul into building that company, and it's been pretty much destroyed, and it's lost all respect within the country within the last couple of weeks. And it really, there's no common sense standing behind this. And as you said, they've quadrupled down to make him feel comfortable. It's not funny at all. It's actually an extremely dangerous situation. And to be honest, I have a daughter, and had I been in the facility and heard what was going on, I'd want to go in there and freaking take the guy by the neck and throw him out in the parking lot. And that's the way that things would have been done a while back. But now, we're controlling the whole gym atmosphere based on less than 1% of the population.
This tiny fringe minority has such a big say in everything. And as a founder, I mean, like you said, it must be devastating to watch this happen to the company that you spent decades building.
I sold the company November 8th, 2012. I discovered that the lead counsel for Planet Fitness was a self-admitted pedophile. He was a North Carolina assemblyman, and he was forced to resign there. Somehow, through ropes and gray, he becomes an attorney. He gets inserted to Planet Fitness. He starts messing with me. I get a dossier done from a private investigator on Richard Moore's background, who's the chief administrative officer at Planet Fitness at the time. It says that he's a pedophile, abused multiple young boys, I bring it to the private equity company that just bought us, and they basically showed me the door.
So Planet Fitness had an attorney who is a self-admitted pedophile, and when you exposed that, you were kicked out of your own company?
Correct.
Was he ever charged with anything or arrested?
He pleaded guilty to sexual crimes. And we found more people when I sent investigators down to Kannapolis, North Carolina, and found more people that he had abused. And this guy's married to 2 guys, and he has 4 children. Do you think those children are safe right now?
I mean, it seems like Planet Fitness has a history of promoting perverts and pedophiles and predators based on what you're saying now.
When they went public, the majority of the board knew that this lead attorney was a pedophile. It's in the culture. I mean, if you go back and you look at the history of what's happened at Planet Fitness recently, with throwing out the multiple people. Apparently on Fridays they drink, and one of the girls got roofied and raped, and the people at the corporate office. Richard Moore, the attorney, the pedophile attorney, he took over the HR department, and he was abusing people within the company, and the board of directors knew about it. I don't know if all of them knew about it, but there are some that I know personally that knew 100% that he was a pedophile. And when you start looking at how they operate the company, their numbers are very suspect.
You're saying that protecting pedophiles and shutting down any kind of opposition or questions is in Planet Fitness's culture since at least basically 2013.
Yeah, and that's when it started, was when we sold to the private equity company. But it turns out that, a pedophile attorney will do anything. I mean, look what they do to children. So imagine what they're going to do to the business people involved. And, it ended up costing me hundreds of millions of dollars.
With all the news that we've been seeing the last 2 weeks in Planet Fitness, specifically with the Fairbanks, Alaska location where they allow men and women spaces, and then there's so many more stories that have been coming up the last 2 weeks. Were you at all surprised by it, or was it kind of like expected based on your experience?
It starts at the corporate office, and the term, the fish stinks from the head down. This is exactly the case. This is what it means. It started at the corporate office. This pedophile attorney started abusing employees, then he's abusing them sexually. Now the culture leads into, the people doing the right thing are being thrown out of Planet Fitness. And this, the picture of the guy in Alaska, I mean, he's getting off on it. You can see it in his eyes. He's getting off on making women feel uncomfortable. And to be honest, I really got to say, where are the men? Where are the men in America?
Yeah, I mean, we need to see more men standing up for women's rights. And I think women should also be standing up. And I applaud all the women who have come forward and shared their experience in Planet Fitness locker rooms across the country. So just getting back to the stock price. So this story is exploding. It's trending on X for a week already, and there's massive calls to boycott Planet Fitness, and their stock, they basically wiped out $400 million of their value in the span of just a couple of days. What were you thinking when you saw that?
Well, I mean, it's funny. You see things started to happen in the right direction. Now they the stock is back up over 60 a share. And the only thing that I can say is, I hope those people are buying it short, because the way that they report their same store sales and the amount of units that they could say that they can put in America, it's complete bullshit. When you understand the retention and the amount of people that it takes for the demography to be able to hold a 10,000 membership club, you need about 60,000 people to maintain 10,000 members. And when you run that math out, they can't put 4,000 clubs in America. There's not enough population. And that, the 4,000 clubs coupled with the same store sales is what's really propping the stock price up, in my opinion. And, it's a lot.
So it's a corrupt company that also defends and protects pedophiles. It doesn't sound like a place that I would ever want to attend or let my kids attend or anyone I know. And I know that, there's been mass cancellations. I got the insider scoop that there was some panic at corporate over the mass cancellations, and some locations were shutting down their phone lines. So it's been a total mess, but a deserved mess, and a mess that they brought upon themselves.
Yeah.
But do you have any last thoughts you want to share before we wrap up? And do you have a message that you want to give to men and women in our country?
This could all be fixed, but it's going to need to be reverse engineered very quickly. So I don't know what the future is going to look like for Planet Fitness from that standpoint. And as far as, the people in the country, I would find another safe place to work out. And I believe if they continue down this path, for all the personal trainers out there, all the people that like fitness, this is going to create a huge opportunity if Planet can't get their arms around this and do a 360 or 180 or whatever. They just have to change what the heck they're doing right now, because the corporate office is brain dead at Planet Fitness.
Okay, well, thank you, Mike. I really appreciate your time. And look, hopefully Planet Fitness makes some changes in their policies. And if not, then they deserve everything that's coming to them.
Exactly. Thank you very much for your time.